Today's video is all about property and the number one strategy for property investors in 2023, in my humble opinion. There are many things you can do in property. It's really down to personal preference and a few other factors. This video is just to give you a flavour of what's out there. Some of the info from this video comes from PIN, Property Investor Network, just to be transparent, and the training I'd done with PIN back in 2021. This video offers massive value to anyone looking to invest in a property anytime soon. We're going to be looking at creative finance, then we look at purchase lease options and HMOs, and finally we'll have a good look at my favourite way, my number one way to buy property, a genuine strategy that property investors use to help them hit the property goals and their financial goals. Right, let's get stuck into the video. Creative finance. This is something I was aware of before I'd done some training with PIN, but by training with PIN, I really learned different ways of funding your property deals. My first experience of creative finance came with the transition from rental number 4 to rental number 5. This is when I first used momentum investing. I bought rental number 4 BMV, below market value. I did a light refurbishment, and then 7 months later I remortgaged the property and was able to take all of the deposit money back out. Another way I've been able to get creative is by remortgaging the home we live in, me and my family. Most of this money went on an extension for our home, but I did use some of that remortgage towards the deposit money for rental number 7. The last way I've been able to get creative is by using money from crypto assets. I would say that I've taken about £10,000 from my crypto profits and put that money towards Dove Properties, the company I use to buy properties, my limited company. Here is a little list of how you can get creative to build your little property empire. Momentum investing. Remortgage your home. Remortgage other properties if you already have a small portfolio. Borrow money from family, maybe. Money from other assets like crypto or stocks and shares that have built up over the years. Loans or credit cards. Personally, I wouldn't do this unless you're an experienced investor, and even then, I would consult your financial advisor, personally. Purchase option or purchase lease option. This is a creative strategy we're going to cover in further detail next. Anyway, let's move on to PLO, purchase lease option. If you're wanting to buy rental properties but have run out of money or have little capital to start with, consider purchase options. 2 option arrangements are purchase option, PO, and purchase lease option, PLO. The PO is when you have the option to buy. You might want to buy some land that's for sale. You might get a purchase option, then get the planning permission, and then actually make the purchase further down the line. The beauty is that it is an option, as in if you don't get the planning permission, you can pull out of the deal. The PLO is the same, where you have the option to buy after a fixed period, say 3 or even 5 years. The difference is that you agree to lease the property during this period, during the 5 years. PLO main points. You have the right to buy but no obligation to purchase. You agree to buy within a certain time, usually 3 or 5 years, but it can be any time really. Again, there is no obligation to purchase, and you can pass it on to another investor at the end of the agreed time period if that's what you choose. The agreed price is fixed. The buyer benefits from potential cash flow if they can find a tenant. If the property does not have a tenant for a period, the buyer is responsible for the mortgage and the council tax. So there is an element of risk. The buyer can also potentially change the purpose to increase the cash flow if that's agreed. or add value to the property to increase the rent and increase that cash flow. This isn't for everyone. It isn't for a landlord looking to sell his or her portfolio and they need the money now. It's for the landlord who doesn't need the money and wants really less hassle. He or she might want to retire to Spain for a stress-free life. A stress-free life in the sun. HMO stands for House of Multiple Occupation, and this is a way of increasing cash flow when compared to single lets. First of all, do a bit of research so that you fully understand this strategy. Maybe read a book and even go a step further and do some training with PIN, or do some training with another reputable company offering property training. With some training, you're able to find suitable properties like a 6-bed HMO, for example. This would mean you'd be renting 6 separate rooms all under the same roof. In the Northeast, you're looking at £400 per room per month. This would mean $2,400 per calendar month. Unlike single lets, the bills are the landlord's responsibility, so that needs to be factored into any calculations. The main calculation to remember is ROI, profit per annum divided by total investment, and this is because it illustrates what return you're getting on the money you've invested. To find the profit per annum, we need the profit per calendar month minus expenses times 12. Expenses like mortgage, council tax, utilities and broadband. Apparently this is a big one that is important to the tenant in a HMO. The broadband signal strength is the first thing tenants check before moving in. I've heard many case studies from different investors, and on a 6-bed HMO, a profit of £1,000 per calendar month is normal, if not more. Remember, this isn't from my experience, this is what I've been taught at PIN. If you manage to get 2 or 3 HMOs, then you're well on your way to financial independence on getting your target income. Before buying your first HMO, speak to your local housing authority, council, and ensure you're legally compliant. You may well need a licence, valid for 5 years, and planning permission. This can be discussed in detail with your local housing authority. I could give you loads of spiel about the legal side of things, but I haven't done a HMO at this stage, so you'll have to do some research yourself. This is just from the training I've been given. Now, we're going to look at my favourite way to invest in property, and I would say the number 1 strategy for beginners in 2023. Remember, this is just my opinion. BRR, buy, refurbish, refinance. What I will say is that it is a genuine strategy that will accelerate you towards your financial goals. And if you want full-time property investing, you start with $25,000. You refurb and add value, and 6 months later, you refinance and pull your deposit money back out in an ideal scenario. Then you move on to the next property. This allows you to buy at least 1 rental property per year. In 10 years, you could have 10 properties. Let us say that you're 25 years of age. You adopt this straightforward strategy, BRR, and you buy 1 property per year for 10 years. All of a sudden, you're 35 and have some early financial freedom. You have serious options. Look, you might be a 25-year-old electrician or bricklayer and prefer to live for the day. You might want to get yourself new clothes for the weekend, buy the latest car on expensive finance. 10 houses at 35 eases the pressure and is a genuine plan B if things go tits up. It could even be your plan A, depending on your expenses. That 30,000 will help you avoid working away for large periods, so you can live life on your terms and do more of what you love with the people who you love. BRR is a strategy I've used over the last few years and will continue to use going forward. Look into it and see what you think. This strategy could really accelerate you towards your target portfolio, whatever that may be. Other strategies. There are many strategies you can tackle when you really start looking into it, like SA, serviced accommodation, commercial or residential, conversions, flats, title splits and many more. Have a look into these different strategies. When you start networking or reading property books, you can determine what you want to do with property, what you want to do property wise. We're all different and will inevitably go our different directions. My opinion is to start with single lets, but this might be too conservative for you. I've seen people jump in at the deep end with creative strategies and be financially independent within 2 years, and some even within 1 year. All I want you to take from this video is that there are genuine ways to get creative with property, genuine ways to get creative and push towards your financial goals, and even financial independence, financial freedom. Who knows? Why not?